China's facing a series of maritime disputes with its neighbors in the South China Sea. Speaking to Army cadets at West Point, President Obama says it's more difficult for the U.S. push for a resolution of rival claims because it exempts itself from rules that apply to everyone else.
We can't try to resolve problems in the South China Sea when we have refused to make sure that the Law of the Sea Convention is ratified by our United States Senate, despite the fact that our top military leaders say the treaty advances our national security. That's not leadership. That's retreat.
The UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, establishes rules for commercial and military shipping, as well as the distribution of offshore oil and gas royalties. That's made it a target for the president's opponents, including former Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld.
I do not believe the United States should endorse a treaty that makes it a legal obligation for productive countries to pay royalties to less productive countries based on rhetoric about common heritage of mankind.
While not ratified by the Senate, the United States does observe most of the structures of the Law of the Sea Treaty. American Enterprise Institute analyst Michael Oslin.
I think the president was making a false choice. He was saying if we don't ratify UNCLOS, we can't call China to account for any of its provocative, coercive, and aggressive behavior. That's completely false. Of course we can.
The latest flare-up in the South China Sea concerns a Chinese oil rig in disputed waters off Vietnam, a standoff that Chinese Deputy Army Chief Wang Guangzong says is being forced on Beijing.
China, in its issues concerning territorial sovereignty and maritime rights, has never taken the first step to provoke trouble. It has always been that China has been forced to respond.
Vietnamese protesters say Beijing's trying to provoke wider confrontation over disputed islands. American University professor Hilary Mann-Leverett says Beijing's trying to undermine U.S. alliances in Asia.
The way China has done that is to push these allies over issues that the United States doesn't really care about. Craggy Island here, Craggy Island there. Why should the United States really send the 7th Fleet out to fight China over these various islands?
U.S. reluctance to confront China has nothing to do with the Law of the Sea, says Oslin.
I think it shows a very disturbing trend line in the Obama administration of trying to find excuses for not getting more involved in the maritime and naval disputes that are roiling Asia.
The Philippines is using Law of the Sea mechanisms to challenge China's territorial claims, but China's refusing to join that non-binding tribunal. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the State Department.